Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. Well, now that you're here, let's have a little chat, shall we? I'm pretty sure you're here because you already checked the title of this video, or you're here because you got nothing else to do but hear my beautiful voice. Aw, okay, fine. We can get started. Number 10. Tanya destroys golems, Land of Lidl. Imagine waking up to a world where you're a grandmother. No, not the cookie baking, reading stories to grandchildren type, but a terrifyingly powerful one. We're talking about Tanya, the best grandma out of the Land of Lidl, who can scare the daylights out of children. Yep, things weren't always this messy for her. Tanya used to live as Kane until she was transported into a VR MMORPG. A game called World of Lidl, when a power outage cut off her life support and resulted in her death. Upon seeing Land of Lidl, Tanya reacted the same way a person who's been in a coma would do, waking up. Years later, the time when Tanya seriously flexed her powers in the Isekai world was when she destroyed the golems. Imagine your grandma being this cool. Her grandchildren were not only shocked at her powers and nonchalant rage, but they were also grateful when she effortlessly destroyed them. Tanya may be one of the craziest Isekai overpowered main characters, as she continually gets compared to Ainz old gown from Overlord, who also got stuck in a game and served as the guildmaster. But I guess that's pretty common for our Isekai MCs, huh? Next, we're going to talk about an Isekai flex that comes from one of the most powerful and iconic mages in the Isekai world, Megumin. You may see Megumin as someone who holds a frisky and eccentric nature, but trust me, she's a lot more than that. As one of the members of the Crimson Magic clan, Megumin holds one of the most destructive abilities in the guild. Her explosion is so powerful that it destroys entire landscapes and empties out places where cities once stood. This attack is so iconic that even the viewers praised Megumin's explosion for having vibrant color schemes, dramatic visuals, and powerful sound effects that honestly almost seemed real. However, while this may be one of the craziest flexes in the Isekai world, this explosion takes a toll on Megumin's body once she uses it. Since she's only a little girl who looks like a middle schooler, her body cannot tolerate the actual power of this attack, so it ends up making her pass out. Basically a self-sacrificial spell. Therefore, this explosion adds to Megumin's passion for magic, which is pretty nice to see. Do you have a sibling? Well, then I'm pretty sure you have some or the other relative that you secretly hate so much that you plotted ways to destroy them like they were the final boss. Well, guess what? You're not alone in this. Shiro and Sora, the siblings from No Game No Life, went through the same thing when they faced off against Jibril, one of the most powerful figures of the Flugel race. Now, this isn't your ordinary rivalry. This is a competition, and it's win-win or lose-lose. When she seemed like an enemy that was impossible to defeat, Shiro and Sora used 100% of their brains to outsmart them and claim victory. It was really the craziest flex in Isekai, considering how such a big enemy was defeated by brains and not just beauty. Jibril was all about power and domination. She's basically the anime version of that annoying supervillain who thinks she's invincible, just like Loki. But unfortunately, these siblings defeated her by using a loophole in the rules of the game. So they played a game within a game using their superior intellect, and that's what happens when you mess with big brains.
Humanity. 本当に凄まじい種族。
Moving on to the squad that makes the Suicide Squad look like amateurs, though they could easily be called the Suicide Squad themselves, considering how they willingly walked into the jaws of death to face a powerful, wise yet ancient enemy. We're talking Orsted, not just any old man, but a dragon god who's known to be the strongest member of the dragon tribe and the arch nemesis of the human god. So if you're a human, you're automatically Orsted's enemy. On the other hand, we've got Rudeus' squad called the Dead End, which formed after the teleportation incident in anime. This confrontation between Orsted and the Dead End squad was one of the incredibly epic flexes in Isekai, considering how an old, rusted yet full of wisdom man took down a powerful squad consisting of 3 swordsmen and mages. Think about it. A giant guy, like Ryjord, who has super strength, a demon-long lifespan, and a third eye, faced a hard time against Orsted. Pretty surprising. And by this time in the anime, Rudeus and Eris's skills had grown a lot. So while you might think that age and rust might slow Orsted down, he proves that experience and sheer skill make him an unstoppable one-man army, turning the battle into a masterclass of strategy. If we're talking about the craziest isekai flexes, how could we go on without mentioning Tanya singing the national anthem in the enemy's base? Because think about it, there's a war going on, missiles being shot, and suddenly you hear, what? The national anthem. Well, I guess your life's on the verge of ending. I just want to show some patriotism and die with honor. Tanya's rampage in the saga of Tanya the Evil is one of the biggest flexes in Isekai. Her superiors underestimated her, thinking she was just a minor show of force around Moscow. But guess what? She overpowered everyone, and not just in any ordinary way. She went all in and demolished the great statue of Comrade Secretary Joseph. Set the secret police HQ on fire, leveled the unfinished palace of the people, and reduced Lenin's mausoleum to ashes. It was all the doing of this little girl who even ransacked the propaganda centers. She stole loads of equipment and belted out the imperial anthem so loudly that people nearby heard it thanks to her magical amplification. This poured fear and tears into the enemy hearts. So Tanya's actions weren't just military success, they absolutely humiliated the Communist Party. Hey, do you mind just, giving this video a like? I know you like watching these kinds of videos. So, go ahead and give it a like. If you're new here, welcome to my community and join the gang, would you? Thanks. Even the mean girls will start crying when they come across the baddie king Anos Voltigod. Their entrance is nothing like his, because they remember Anos' iconic first fight against the powerful demon lord Zepis, who wished to take over Anos' place. Their confrontation was a clash of titans, which showed Anos' overwhelming power and Zepis' determination to take his spot. But imagine a demon lord like Zepis getting killed at the speed of lightning when he was yapping about how great he is. After the first strike, Zepis couldn't believe what he went through. In the same battle, Anos destroyed Zepis' heart and eventually knocked him out by simply snapping his fingers. He not only defeated Zepis, but humiliated him again and again by reincarnating him in front of more than 1,000 people in the audience. People were surprised and even shocked at Anos' brutal power and how effortlessly he defeated a powerful guy like Zepis. It was like watching a toddler solve a Rubik's Cube while the rest of the world was struggling with their shoes. Zepis was left dumbfounded and started to question his own existence. He sure didn't mess with Anos afterward.
まったく世話の焼ける奴らだ。
Forget Snapchat streaks, let's talk about killing streaks in Autofureta. This rampage takes place against the Demon Lord's army when our main character gets betrayed by his classmates. So he went through an extremely dramatic transformation and became one of the strongest beings in the world. People thirst for water, but Hajime has a thirst for revenge, and so his rampage is one of the craziest flexes in Isekai anime. Everyone who got in his way got slashed and destroyed. Hajime's stare turned ice cold as he went on a killing streak and showed everyone who was the boss. Seeing Hajime's rampage might remind you of Eren's rumbling because he was so done with everything and everyone. Both those characters changed a lot, and they embraced a ruthless path of destruction to protect their loved ones. When it comes to visually stunning and acoustic euphoria, Shadow's I Am Atomic cannot be missed. You see, this was the moment that was more pleasurable than any other ASMR video you could find on the internet. The story? Well, Cid's always obsessed with becoming the eminence in Shadow, and so he wanted to surpass the most powerful weapon of mankind, the nuclear bomb, and became so strong that he could survive it. Cid's atomic ability is like taking magic to the extreme. He compresses his mana to make it 1,000 times stronger than anyone else's, which itself is pretty insane. Imagine trying to squeeze so much power into any tiny space that it would force it to explode. That's basically what Cid's atomic power does. To pull this move off, Cid can't solely rely on his body, because no regular body could handle that much power without turning into a magical pancake. So he turns the entire environment into his personal power-up gadget, and creates a domain effect that further amplifies his ridiculous power levels. In simple words, Cid's just trying to say, why be overpowered when you can be stupidly and absurdly overpowered?
I'm atomic. Huh?
Now, why would you believe that a single man can wipe out tens of thousands of men? Well, Ainz here casually massacres 70,000. Like, can you imagine a guy taking over 70,000 people all by himself? Well, if you're the overpowered Ainz Olgaun, then it's possible, but isn't that just straight up crazy? This crazy flex happened when a massive battle between the Rudeus Kingdom and the Baharuth Empire took place. Ainz was asked to show his powers, and he's really not the type to just show off. However, he lets his power speak for himself. Therefore, during the battle, Ainz used Yashub-Nigorath, also called Dark Young of the Black Goat, which summoned horrifying gigantic monsters. It was a truly crazy flex in the Isekai world that makes Overlord one of the best anime of all time. Lastly, the moment we have all been waiting for, Rimuru's fight against the Falmouth army, which is probably one of the most intense and epic moments in anime. You see, the kingdom of Falmouth is a force not to be reckoned with, but since Rimuru's closest allies died in the battle, he had to put an end to the kingdom. He completely destroyed the Falmouth army using his powerful magic by casting Megumin, a spell which focuses beams of light that rain down on the enemy. This is an incredibly strong attack that wiped out over 20,000 soldiers in mere moments, but Rimuru went even deeper when he completely wiped out the kingdom of Falmouth once and for all. This was indeed the craziest flex in Isekai, as Rimuru crossed a line he never thought he would, and went from someone very demure and very cutesy to a raged beast. So, how about it? Did you enjoy watching this video? If you did, please give it a like, and if I've missed any of your favorites in this list, please comment down below. If you have any recommendations on what kind of content you'd like to watch, please do let me know. Alright, that's all for today, and see you soon.